Recently, on June 18, we commemorated the Goa Revolution Day, which marks the defiance of dictatorial Portuguese colonial rule. The historic events of June 18, 1946 are deeply intertwined with Margao's colonial history. The specific site of the historic speech by Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia in Margao was later named Lohia Maidan. It remains one of Goa's most prominent colonial-era historic landmarks where the initial fight for democratic rights began.
Margao or Margao, today also referred to as the commercial capital of South Goa, has just completed 248 years of its elevation from a village to the status of a town. The day was April 3rd, 1778. The town, which is also known as the cultural capital of Goa, has a history that stretches from ancient monastic roots to a colonial era under Portuguese rule. But long before colonial rule, the city was known as Margao, and the name is still alive in a few of modern Margao's iconic institutions. Margao's most revered Sri Damodar temple was the central spiritual hub for the early inhabitants, so also today. In keeping with the historic importance of the April 3rd colonial history of Margao, EVESCAPE, Goa's first women media network in association with Sal TV, Goa's popular news and entertainment channel, attempted to feature the history and the present landscape of Margao through our lenses. We met Lynn Barreto Miranda, a Margao-based software engineer, an avid long-distance cyclist, and most importantly, an heritage enthusiast, widely recognized for his work in documenting and promoting the history of Margao through his blog, My Margao Forum. In this episode, he tells us about the evolution of Margao from a 1778 colonial town, the infamous Margao Massacre, to the bustling commercial capital of South Goa it is today.
248 years back, there was a proclamation where earlier Margao was part of the Salset, 66 villages of Salset, and there was a petition by the Comunidad of Salset asking it to be elevated. And on 3rd of April 1778, the Queen of Portugal, through a proclamation, she elevated Margao city to a city. So this was 248 years back. And this information I got from a book written by my great-grandfather. He was a historian and administrator of the comunidades of this, and in that he has written all about, it's basically the history and memories of Margao.
Barreto Miranda, who is famous for his heritage walks around Margao to imbibe the importance of Margao's rich heritage, especially amongst children and youth, is proud of the fact that a part of Margao's heritage still remains unchanged. For example, the iconic Alvarez House, also known as the House of Bullet Holes, a private house that still bears the physical scars of the 1890 Margao Massacre, where 23 people were killed during a protest.
Margao must be at least over 500 years old. So 248 years is when it got elevated from a village to a city. The good things are the structures which are still existing. On the Abadfaria road, you have the Miranda house, then the Montesilva house, which are huge structures which are still maintained. On the Borda road is our house, then the Pacheco's house, which are still maintained. Then the Holy Spirit Church. So there are, and around the Holy Spirit Square, there are a lot of heritage houses. So these are things which beautify Margao. And now there are these new huge commercial buildings that are coming up. But fortunately, Margao still has few of the old charm buildings.
The old municipal council building, historically known as the Câmara Municipal de Salset, is a significant Portuguese-era heritage structure located in the old market area of Margao. Built in 1778, it served as the seat of municipal power for over a century before administrative operations were shifted to the current, more prominent Margao Municipal Council building near the Municipal Garden in 1905. Lynn Barreto Miranda tells us more about the site of the infamous massacre of Margao on 21st April 1890. The Portuguese soldiers killed 23 civilians who had gathered to vote.
Right now behind me is the old municipal building, and this was probably the center of Margao 500, 600 or even earlier. The Holy Spirit Church is 460 years old, and this area should be much more older. This building here, the municipal building, covered the areas of Margao and Vasco. Around the 1900s, this area started getting congested, a lot of shops and everything. And then the committee of the municipality decided to build a new building in town. The reason being, one is because this was getting congested with a lot of shops and everything, and also the arrival of railways. The railway station had started from Castle Rock, and so they wanted to develop the new market. This area has a gruesome history. In 1890, there was an election to be held here, and there were two parties. One was the local party, and one was supported a pro-Portuguese party. Unfortunately, the Portuguese wanted their representative to be elected, so they rigged the elections, and because of that there was a lot of protest, and unfortunately there was a police firing that took place, and they say around 23 to 25 people were shot dead. There's a chapel here which is built in memory of those people. It's called Cidade de Almas, and further ahead, just next to the Holy Spirit Church, is the house of Dr. Alvarez. There were bullets fired randomly, so some hit his house, and he has put wooden plugs so that with the date, so people still can see where the bullets hit his house. When the committee of the municipality decided to build a new building in the market, in New Market, they decided to sell off this building, and in 1707 this building was sold off to Ligor Aroj. He was a businessman from Lotole, and he bought a part of it, and another part was sold to one Kenny. Later on he bought the Kenny's share, and he had many shops here. Next, if you go around the corner, there are two pillars, and in that shop he had a showroom where he was basically dealing in imported flooring tiles and things. So if you see those pillars, they still have the tiles that he put as samples. Later on, then he shifted his job, so then there was the Almeida school that was running here for a while, and then slowly there were other smaller shops, and unfortunately later on, once the building started collapsing, everybody has moved out, but and today it's in this sad state how it is.
Our lenses capture the utterly neglected, abandoned and dilapidated structure which is invaded by creepers and has suffered significant decay over the decades. The present Margao Municipal Council MMC building is an iconic architectural landmark situated in the heart of Margao. Lynn Barreto Miranda tells us the historic significance of this prominent structure, which stands tall to this day as a symbol of the town's colonial heritage.
Since the old market was getting congested, the council of the municipality decided to develop this area. Primarily, the main reason being the railways had started, and this entire area around that time was basically used for the Portuguese garrison. So in 1902, they laid the foundation. In September, they laid the foundation stone of this municipal building, and 3 years later, on 30th of April 1905, this building was inaugurated. So today, this is the major landmark of Margao. Interestingly, the Great Trigonometrical Survey, which the East India Company wanted, it started in 1802, and they wanted to measure the entire Indian subcontinent.
Lynn Barreto Miranda particularly points out to an engraved stone into the steps of the main entrance of the building, which many people ignore as just a step.
Today, Margao is celebrated for its Indo-Portuguese architecture and its status as a vibrant hub of culture and arts.